Welcome to Tanisha's Beauty Supply YouTube channel. Today I'm going to discuss strategies and ways that you can start your business even if you can't get a business loan. I'm going to include some of my own personal stories and experiences. Thank you for joining. Let's talk about how do you start your business when you can't get a business loan. You've tried, you've researched, you've made appointments with banks, you've applied for various credit cards. You just can't get a business loan. You can't get the credit that you need to start your business. Well, how do you move forward? So let's talk about that today. I'm driving from Michigan from my business. My name is Tanisha. I am the owner of Tanisha's Beauty Supply store in Oak Park, Michigan, right outside of Detroit. You're joining me as I'm driving back from my business. I've been in the beauty supply business for 3.5 years. My store has been successful. Before the beauty supply industry, I had a thrift store in Westland, Michigan. I used my own money to launch that store in my own credit, and that store didn't make it. It was in a hidden spot in a strip mall. That business did not make it, but my beauty supply business has been thriving ever since. I'm here to share with you just my thoughts and my opinions on moving forward with your business, even if you can't get a business loan or business credit right away. I have not to this day obtained a business loan, and I have come to be okay with that because I realized in the process of not being able to get a business loan that I found other creative ways to generate capital to still move forward and progress with my business without a business loan. With my first business, the thrift store that did not make it, I used my own credit, and because the store didn't make it, there went my credit. When I ventured into the beauty supply business that has been profitable, my personal credit was not in a good position. My personal credit had already been ruined. So everything that I've done with my beauty supply business, it's pretty much been out of my own pocket. I did use some capital from family and friends, not much at all, not even probably $5,000, not over that amount. The way I instituted family and friends was to just have them buy product. When the product sold, the store would keep a percentage of it. The money that they earned would go to them. So I don't suggest that method. If you're not highly detailed with your books and able to keep up with what you owe your family and friends when their products sell, I don't suggest that you use that method. But I did use that method, not much, but I did use it at first to get started, and it worked for me. But I would say that 98 to 99% of the income in my business has been out of my own pocket. So let's talk about what that looks like. I'm the type of person, I'm not going to take no for an answer. If I go to the bank and I'm asking for a bank loan and they tell me no, I'm going to look around and figure out, okay, well, how can I make this happen? And that's what I want you to do. Figure out how can you make it happen. Each business is different. My business of the beauty supply store is a business that I could start with my own capital. It just depends on what kind of business you're in. If you're in an app making business or you're in an electronic business, you might not be able to start with your own capital. You might have to raise capital for that kind of business. But anything dealing with retail, those are businesses that you can start with your own capital. Well, let's talk about what other people suggest when it comes to opening businesses. Other people suggest going to family and friends. That may work for some people, but what if you don't have family that you can go to? Then what do you do? To be honest with you, do you really want to owe your family thousands of dollars when Thanksgiving comes around and you're all sitting at the table? It's in the air that you owe Uncle Jimmy $6,000 and he's wondering when he's going to see his money. That's something to think about. Some people are in position to borrow from their family with ease, and if you are, that's a blessing. But if you're not, let's think of something else. Others suggest waiting before you start your business to get in position with business credit. You can do that. I didn't want to wait. I didn't want to wait until I was 60 years old to start my business. I didn't want to wait until everything was perfect financially to start a business, because at times it won't ever be perfect. Sometimes you do just have to step out there and do it anyway. Now, I do suggest, even if you start with no business loan and no business credit or very little business credit, that you are always working to position yourself to strengthen your business credit. What are some of the barriers that people experience when trying to open their business with financing? Banks can be very difficult to work with. I remember going into a bank. This is a bank that I had a relationship with. And I sat down and I asked the lady, I said, look, I have these negative things on my credit because I had a business 5 years ago where I used my own personal credit and the business didn't make it. So I have negative things on my credit. I don't want you to run my credit and then tell me no. Is there any way you can look at my credit portfolio and let me know what I need to do to be eligible for a bank loan? She tells me, well, no, you should go ahead and apply. They look at much more than the negative things on your credit. It says right here in the computer, qualified for a $25,000 loan. So I'm like, okay, well, if the computer's saying that I'm pre-qualified, then let's go ahead and do it. So I go through the process, sit there, because I brought all of my documents in. I really wasn't there to apply for a bank loan. I really was there to sit me down, look over my finances and let me know what I need to do to get in position to be prepared for a bank loan. That's not what I got. Go ahead and apply as I suspected, went on ahead and applied. They did a hard inquiry on my business credit only to tell me, because of this, you don't qualify. So I felt like it was a complete waste of time. I was frustrated. I said, you know what? I'm going to do this. So what do I need to do to make this happen? Because I'm not going to let a bank stop me. I'm not going to let a credit card company stop me. I'm going to move forward. This is a disclaimer. I am not a financial employee. I am not an advisor. I am not a lawyer. So you definitely want to seek professional advice when you are preparing to go into business. You want to seek professional advice, and everybody's situation is different. I'm just telling you my story and my suggestions. I do to move forward in my business. I've had my beauty supply store, Tanisha's Beauty Supply, in Oak Park, Michigan, for over 3.5 years, and have done all of this with no business loan. What do I suggest? My first suggestion is to start small. Start your business in a way where you can fund it yourself. Nobody can tell you no if you are the person who's funding your business. What does that look like? Well, for me, I started my beauty supply store in a building that had suites. So this was a large building. They rented out individual rooms. They took an old office building and just turned the old offices into individual suites. So you had hairdressers, you had jewelry stores, there was a convenience store, there was a little restaurant, there were boutiques. So all of these different individual businesses were in this one building. This is where I started my beauty supply store, and I started it on the 4th floor in just a 400 square foot space, small space. I was able to fund that space out of my own pocket. Start small. Figure out how can you do this business on a very small scale. That's my first and most important suggestion. Start small. After I was in that space for about 1.5 years, and I was doing well in that small space, because in the building were other hairdressers who did not want to leave the building. I had a market. So if you start small, just try to locate yourself in a market where there's a need, and just start small. What I would do, I would order only what they wanted, only the products that they were going to use, because those were going to be for sure sales for me. After a year and a half, I expanded within that same building, and I moved downstairs to the first floor where I would get more foot traffic, because I was trying to get some foot traffic from off the busy road, as well as the business that's already in a large office building. And I stayed down there for about 2 years. After I'd outgrown that space, I then started looking to have my own space on a busy road. 26001 Coolidge Highway in Oak Park, Michigan, right outside of Detroit. So this space is a little larger than the space I left, but the difference is it's on a main road. So you see how I took the steps, and I am still to this day using my own money. I have not still obtained a business loan, and at this point I'm in a position that, okay, if I get one, okay. If I don't, we're doing okay. I have about 5 or 6 workers that I'm able to pay out of the business with no business loan. So the money that I make is my money. Second most important thing to do when you are funding your business, use your employment money, the money from your job. If you work, most people have to keep their day job while they're building their business. And there are some people who don't keep their day job, but those are the people who typically work in their business all day. Your job, even if it's a job you're not crazy about, it's a job that you want to leave, learn to look at your job as an investment tool. Use your employment as an investment tool. What that means is your personal overhead, it has to be to the minimum. You can't have an expensive house payment, an expensive car payment, a lot of credit card debt, and you're shopping. You can't have a lot of overhead personally if you're going to use your employment as an investment tool. Different situations for different people. You might be in a position where you collect Social Security. If you are in that position, maybe you can work your business until it gets to the point where you can afford to hire people, allow your Social Security to pay your personal bills. Maybe you're in a position where you're married, or at least half of the bills are being paid by a spouse. Well, maybe that frees up some money for you to invest in your business. Maybe you're in a position where you're young and you still live at home. So after you pay your small expenses of living at home, maybe instead of moving out as quickly as you would have moved out, maybe you can stay home for 2 or 3 more years. Listen to whatever mama's rules are. Go ahead and launch your business. You have life insurance policy that was left to you. Could you take some of that and use it and set it up to launch your business? So it just depends on what situation you're in. Look around at your finances to see where can you cut back. Where's there money that you can take this money and be your own bank and be your own investment? That way nobody can tell you no. Not a family member, not the bank, not a credit card company. Nobody can tell you no. If you're using your own finances, 2 things that you never put in jeopardy. That's where you lay your head and how you get to your money. Your house and your car. Never risk those 2 things. I've heard stories of people being in business and they would take house payments and throw it at the business and end up losing it, and then they have to move and lose their house. No, don't do that. Don't put yourself in that position. You don't have to have a car with payments. Maybe you're driving a car with a $400 car note, $600 car note. Can you position yourself to drive a paid off car? Tax season comes. Can you buy a $4,000 car and get rid of the $400, $500, $600 car note and use that money to pay on a suite, or start in a flea market where you can rent a space and that space is yours to run your business out of until you can get a larger space. If you are going to include your family in the financials, it might be a good idea to start on your own somewhat and show your family that you're serious about this. Show your family that you have something that works, and then they may be more receptive to investing in you. Another suggestion I have when you're using your own money to start your business and to run your business and operate your business, curtail personal expenses. If you don't need it, don't buy it. You will never see me spend $1,000 on a handbag. Not gonna happen. Because for one, to me personally, that makes no sense. That's just me. But I know everybody has their luxuries that they love. Mine happens to be houses. I love houses. So I'm probably way worse than somebody who will pay $2,000 for a handbag because I love houses, which are way more expensive than handbags. Curtail any expense you don't have to have. With your clothing, can you shop at a really good thrift store? Do you have to buy $300 shoes? Is what you're buying essential? You're gonna need those funds for your business. Definitely build business credit while you're using your own money. Research. YouTube is an amazing place for research. Research channels that give you information on how to build your business credit. One of my best suggestions for building your business with no business loan is the power of the flip. As the money is coming into your business, take that money and continue to flip the money. Continue to recycle the money back into the business. I'll give you an example. So let's say your store or your business did its first big sales week ever, and you have in your possession $7,000 profit for that week that your business brought in. You have to position your mindset in a way that you're not going to spend any of that $7,000 on anything other than putting it back into your business. That's called flipping. As you're using your own money, build your business bank account. You need to start saving money as well as investing in your products and investing in your business. You also need to start saving money, because when you get ready to shop for a larger space or you get ready to expand, you're going to need that money. Even something as simple as shopping for a larger retail space, leasing, they want to see money in your bank account. So just like you have to save in your personal life, you also have to save in your business life. I would suggest that you hire someone whose job is to manage your money. Definitely you have to oversee everything they're doing, but you need that. Now, you might not be able to start off with that right away, but definitely make it a part of your plan to have someone whose job is to oversee your money. If you can't hire anyone to do that, at least have someone that you are accountable to when it comes to spending and separating personal money from business money. You need some kind of stoppage that says, no, I can't go in and buy this purse with my business credit card, because my financial manager is going to see that and ask questions. Okay, what is this purchase? Why is it there? So you don't want to just leave it up to yourself. You want to include someone else who can oversee and look and ask you questions and hold you accountable. Remember, delayed gratification. Don't live off the money. And that's hard to do. It takes time to get there. That's why it's a good idea for a lot of people to hold on to their jobs. Let your job be your means of taking care of your personal expenses. And the money that's coming into the business, let that money be the means of taking care of the business. I understand it doesn't always start off that way. A lot of times your job money is dumped right into the business. And you're like, man, how do I take care of my own expenses? It takes time to get there. That's the goal. That's the goal, to curb yourself from spending the business money on anything personal. I would suggest to study debt-free personal living. Being debt-free in your personal life allows you flexibility to invest in your business. Try to be as debt-free as possible when you're using your own money to expand your business. Be willing to grind. Be willing to work. Sacrifice your time, your energy. Use your creativity. Becoming a business owner and building a business from the ground up is not easy. It's not for the weak. And if you are using your own money and no business loan, your path is going to be even more treacherous than your average person who's going into a business with funds. So you need to be willing to grind. You have to be strong. You cannot be weak. This is not for the weak. My experience has been, it is so well worth it, because I am able to operate my business without being there. I can't even say I run my business. I don't run it. I pay other people to run it. And I have done this without a business loan. So for me, it's worth it. Always find a way around the word no. Do not allow no to be your final destiny. Find a way around it. And not having access to a business loan right away in your business pushes your creativity. It helps you become grateful and thankful, and it helps you to learn recycling and reusing. You're not as wasteful when you don't have access to unlimited funds. Consider bartering with people. If you offer a service and they offer a service or product, consider doing a trade so that you don't have to come out of your pocket. Thank you for listening to this information. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. I'm going to continue to bring you helpful information. Those of you who are in business, you can subscribe to Tanisha's Beauty Supply channel. If you're looking to go into business, it's a great channel to subscribe to. Even if you're not a beauty supply store owner, any business that you own, I talk about ways to operate your business without you being there, how to set up systems so that your business runs itself. Make sure you like the video and share it with someone who can use this information to help them start their business with no business loan. Some of the YouTubers that I recommend listening to for helpful information on business credit is Noelle Randall. I like listening to her. She offers some wonderful suggestions that I've actually used and that have been helpful. I also recommend Credit Plug. He describes various credit cards, lenders that have flexible requirements. So those are two YouTubers that I recommend that you listen to. Tanisha's Beauty Supply thanks you for watching another one of our educational videos. For more business education, subscribe to Tanisha's Beauty Supply. For education and coaching one-to-one, visit Tanisha'sBeautySupply.com.